Hey everybody, today is dump day, so I'm on my way over to the dump and take all our garbage and recyclables and everything. We don't get curbside pickup unless we want to pay for it. Used to get curbside pickup in places I've lived, but not here. So anyway, so we're going to the dump. So happy also belated Halloween. That was yesterday, so if that was All Hallows Eve, today is All Hallows Day. Well, until the Catholic or Christian religion covered it up and made it All Saints Day to cover up a pagan holiday. They were good at that. I'm not going to rant and rave about the whole Catholic religion right now. Not a big fan of the Christian religion or how they conquered the world, in essence. But anyways, so yesterday, my little girl, alright, she's 11, so she's not so little, but my daughter got diagnosed with strep throat yesterday on Halloween, of all things. And when she first woke up, she was not in the mood for trick-or-treating. Well, I also work at 24 on Wednesdays, so I actually managed to get a 6-hour block of time off, vacation time, technically, between 4 and 10 p.m. last night, so I would be able to be home and take her trick-or-treating. So it didn't look like I was going to be taking her trick-or-treating until I came home. I left work at 4. I got home about 4:30, 5 o'clock, because I brought home some pizza. Now, she hadn't eaten all day. She had 3 slices of pizza, which for her is a lot. And she was ready to go trick-or-treating because she found out we were staying local and we were going to, because where we moved, there's now houses and we can just walk to everything. We didn't need to drive anywhere. We didn't need to, our old spot would have been about 20-25 minutes away from where we usually went. So she actually did pretty good. Halloween trick-or-treating lasts 2 hours around here. She did the first hour and then she wasn't feeling well and she wanted to go home, but she did pretty good. This morning though, she woke up, man, you wouldn't tell she was sick, but she's feeling a lot better today now that she's got a couple doses of amoxicillin in her. Gotta love that stuff when kids are sick, huh? So it looks like as long as all goes well and she still feels better, she'll be going to school tomorrow. Really not much else to report. I mean, Halloween went pretty well. I got that time off of work, which was great. She went trick-or-treating. Yeah, I think I covered everything I think I can cover anyways for this driving blog. May or may not do another one today. Who the heck knows? But if I do, I'll see you later. If I don't, have a good day. I know I still need to come up with an intro and maybe come up with a new title for the vlog. So any suggestions to a new title of the blog instead of driving vlog, please put them in the comments. Please subscribe, like, and all that other stuff. Any ideas for the intro, for an intro segment for myself, please put them in the comments. Alright, I hope you guys enjoy your day. Have a good one. Bye. So I wanted to add an amendment, whatever, to the to my earlier driving post. This one's probably going to be short, but I wanted to add the fact that, and this should have been added to my inexpensive smart coffee maker one, is that recently, while watching Kelly and Ryan, my wife likes to watch the show. I watch it with her sometimes when I'm home. Anyways, they read a report saying that coffee will help you live longer and actually helps to fight off some diseases. Now, my wife drinks like 3 to 4 cups of coffee a day, and I used to give her, a little bit of, I don't want to say crap, but I used to give her a little bit for it. She's like, I can't give her nothing no more, because apparently it's helping her life. So I wanted to add that because there's a thought that just hit my head going, you know what? I want to share this little tidbit of information. I guess you can go look it up somewhere. You can Google it if you don't believe me. And I got it from Kelly and Ryan, so don't look at me if I'm wrong. It's not really my fault. I didn't research it. I'm just rehashing what they said. So apparently coffee is good for you and helps you live a longer life because it helps fight away certain diseases. So I just wanted to add that to my previous post or previous vlog or whatever you call this. Anyways, Alright, have a good day. I'll talk to you guys later. Maybe later today, maybe tomorrow. Who knows? But I'll talk to you later. Enjoy. Bye. Again, I know. It's getting a little ridiculous, but this is what, part 3 of today's vlog. I was just thinking, I never actually introduced myself to you guys. So, I'm going to give a little bit of information about me while I'm driving to the next place I'm going to today. So my name is DJ. I am a paramedic. I have been a paramedic for the past 12 plus years. I've been in EMS about 17, 18 years now. I'm not entirely sure when I first started. Once upon a time, I used to work for Lucent Technologies as an electronics engineer. An electronics and photonics team technician is my official title. Sounds fancy, doesn't it? Anyways, I had an electrical engineering degree, associates anyways at the time. I was working for Lucent. The technology industry took a bad hit, so they were letting tons of people off. So one of the things they laid off was their off-shift medical staff. So they offered first responder classes to some of the off-shift people. I figured, hey, this would come in handy later in life when I have kids and things like that. Figured, why not? At that time, being a career as a paramedic was never a thought. But I figured it would come in handy to help out with, first aid and things like that. Give me some information that I didn't have. So I took the class. I really enjoyed it. So I figured the company was going to pay for it. I took an EMT class, and the company paid for it. So I became an EMT. And one of the EMT instructors, he worked for Emmaus Ambulance in Emmaus, Pennsylvania. That's where I started. That's where I worked for Lucent. Well, not Emmaus, Pennsylvania, but Pennsylvania anyways. And so I thought, hey, why don't I volunteer or whatever? I have some time. And I actually enjoyed it. And because I enjoyed this one particular instructor, so I went to where he worked and volunteered there. And I had some fun. I remember my first call ever. My first call was a 17-year-old kid with a dislocated knee. I can't show you because I'm driving, but as everybody knows where their kneecap is, right on top, between your upper leg and lower leg, well, his kneecap was off to the side. And I was looking at it, and I was in pain, just looking at it. And I was sitting there going, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. They trained me what to do. Looking back on it now, you ask me now, I know exactly what to do. But right then, I was just like, Now, the kid's not in pain. I'm just looking at this. I'm wincing. I'm thinking this kid should be in tons of pain, but he wasn't. That was my very first EMS call ever. Now, I also grew up watching the TV show Emergency with Johnny and Roy. So, of course, when I was a little kid, I did want to become a paramedic. I even had the board game for the TV show Emergency. I wish I still had it. That would probably be some sort of collector's item these days at this point. But then again, I also watched the TV show BJ and the Bear and wanted to be a truck driver. So what do I know? So I didn't think nothing of it, but it is, by all technicality, one of my dreams as a kid to become a paramedic came true. Because I am a paramedic. I have been for over 12 years. And my EMS career, which started in Emmaus, Pennsylvania, which is just outside Allentown. From there, I met my first wife online through a gothic dating site. Whatever. She actually lived in Canada. So we eventually got married, and I moved up to Canada. And after I got my, if you want to say, Canadian green card, I don't know what else to call it, I started working in Buffalo, New York, and I transferred my EMT to New York, which is where I grew up anyways. I actually grew up just outside New York City in a little town called Elmont, New York. The most famous part of Elmont, New York at this point is Belmont Racetrack. At least that everybody's heard of. So when races would happen, especially the Belmont Stakes, the trucks with horses would always come through town. And my joke was, I'm Mr. Red's neighbor because of the racetrack. So I moved up to Canada, and we lived close enough to the border that I crisscrossed like every day. And I worked in Buffalo, New York, and that's where I started as I got a lot more EMT experience there. I got my intermediate, the company paid for it. And then I got my paramedic in Buffalo, and the company paid for it. So, and then from Buffalo, while in Buffalo, while working in Buffalo and living in Canada, me and my first wife and I, sorry, let me use proper English, we got divorced. One of the major factors in that, in my opinion, was that what we were supposed to do was about every 5 years we were going to switch countries. She had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, so we were waiting till her 5-year remission, and then we were going to move to the States somewhere. And we spent 5 years in the States, and then we'll move back to Canada, back and forth, because I'm an American. I wanted to move back. I wanted to live in the States. I didn't want to give up America altogether. But she then, after one point, refused to move to the United States with me. That hurt a lot, and that, I think, was part of our demise. But either way, so I moved to Buffalo while I continued to work there, and I met my second wife, who lives in New Hampshire, which is where I am now. I met her on MySpace, believe it or not, if anybody remembers MySpace. So I moved out here. I started working for a company, and while we were here, my father, who was still living on Long Island after his divorce from my mom, he met his new wife, and they moved to New Jersey. Now, I had cousins in New Jersey, so when I was a kid growing up, we used to go to New Jersey roughly about once a month and see my cousins and aunt and uncle and anything. And so I had friends that lived in Jersey from when I lived in Pennsylvania, and also from when I lived in New York. So I knew Jersey. I mean, it was part of the tri-state area of New York City. So anyways, so they moved to New Jersey, so we went down to visit, and the part of Jersey they lived in was actually kind of nice. It was green, it was actually pretty. It wasn't any of the crappy parts. Excuse me. So my current wife she thought about moving to New Jersey. I said, okay. I mean, I've moved all over the Northeast. I grew up in New York. I ended up out on Long Island. I moved to Allentown, Pennsylvania. I moved up to Canada. I lived in Buffalo. I lived in New Hampshire. Well, she wanted to move to New Jersey, so we moved to New Jersey. I got a job working in Jersey City. At the same time there, I was also started working per diem in Atlantic City. Well, we wanted to move further south. We kind of have to move out of the place we were living in because the landlords were coming back and wanted to move back into their own home. Weird story. If maybe another time I'll tell it. But so we had to move. We ended up moving further south. So I left Jersey City and went to Atlantic City full time. So I worked down there. Then my wife I guess she was getting homesick. She had missed her family and stuff, and she missed what she was used to. And while we were down in Atlantic City, I actually got her into EMS, and she was an EMT for a couple of years. But due to some of her illnesses, she had a hard time doing EMT. But let me tell you, some of the best calls I ever did as a paramedic is when I ran calls with her, and she was also on the call. Because down in Jersey, they have double medic and double basics. So the double basic truck showed up on every call, and if a paramedic was needed, they'd call in the paramedic ambulance. So there were many times where, because I covered, as a paramedic, I covered a wider area than the basics covered, that the area she was covering was in my coverage zone. So it was pretty cool running calls with her, and she picked up the stuff really quickly, and I was a little hesitant in the beginning when she first cleared and she first started working, and so I'll admit I tried checking up on her, see how she's doing and things like that. But I found out she knew what she was doing, and she was really good at it. I wish she would have lasted. She probably would have been a great paramedic also, if she would have lasted at it and been able to do the job. But aside from that, so then we moved back to New Hampshire, and we've been back here for about 5 years, and I've been at my current job as a paramedic up here for 5 years. And I'm always looking for new opportunities. We've contemplated the talk of moving to Florida, the talk of moving to Hawaii. I like Hawaii myself. Has come up a few times. I don't know if those will ever come to fruition or not. Just because Hawaii is a very pain in the butt to get to. We don't know if we'd be able to survive. I am looking into nursing school once we can get finances all straightened out, so this way I can afford to pay for it, because they make a lot more money than I do, and wouldn't have to work as many hours. So, as I said, I work about a 70-hour week, and I have seen lots of different things, and sometimes I will talk about calls that I've been on, sometimes I won't. That was kind of stupid. I'm good at that. She told me my first few vlogs I did a lot of repeating of myself. But so I guess that quick me in a nutshell. There's a lot more to me, but I think that's the quick down and dirty version of me. So hopefully that gives you some insight into who I am. I'm almost at the place where I'm going. So I will sign off here, and this will probably be my last post for the day because this last one was kind of long, but it was my introduction to you guys, so now you know about me, so find out if you're any interested in me. Alrighty, so you guys have a good day. Here it's raining. I hope that you have better weather by you. If not, I don't know what to tell you. Alright, have a good day, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.